So, hey guys, we'll talk about data driven decision making today. All the related articles I'm sending in the data science for PM's group. So, I hope you guys have read those articles. And if you guys have read those articles, then this is going to be like awesome session for you. So, we will discuss about what is standard decision making, right? Then data driven decision making. Then we will talk about big data. Is it a challenge or opportunity? Then we will talk about examples of data driven decision making. Then we'll talk about how to become more data driven, and then there will be one case study. That case study is gonna be awesome. It's a very good case study. Let's reach there. Then we will discuss about that. Okay. So this is going to be interactive session. Just do ping in the chat. And Shravan, I would request you to just stop me whenever there is some question or some discussion to be happened. Okay.
For sure, yeah, for sure. I will also ask questions, KD. I am personally looking to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely, Shravan. Let's go. Okay, so let's start with the decision making. What is this ordinary decision making? So you guys might have heard about the gut feeling, right? It's called intuition, or when you think that, okay, there is this solution, I should implement it. This is some intuition which you are getting. So big personalities also have quoted around it that have the courage. Steve Jobs have said that have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you want to become. Albert Einstein said that the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. When we have got all these things that, okay, the intuition is already there, then why do we worry about any kind of other decision making, right? So gut feeling is required for a leader to make a call where the decision is risky, right? But if it is backed by the data, then that will be very good decision, right? So, or confident decision. One should not ignore the data just because it is hard to quantify. Why hard to quantify? We will discuss about it later in the session. What is data driven decision making? Data driven decision making would be, okay, let's take one example. I have pointed out 4 points. Let's take one example. Let's say you have identified a solution problem in the market, and you have got one solution. There is one solution that, okay, your intuition says or your gut feeling says that, okay, Janta wants this solution and there is this problem. But another solution would be you put out surveys, right? And you collect survey responses. You will try to get a report, create a report out of it, create analysis out of it, maybe bifurcate the data by gender wise, age group wise. Then you will ask people that, okay, is this really a problem or not? Whatever I have identified, is this really a problem or not? Or let's say you will put out the solution, you will try to figure out whether how much audience is there for the particular problem, right? Now let's say you have found out all the things, and you know that, okay, there is lots of audience for this solution. You will deploy that solution in the production. Okay, now still you will conduct the user testing, that how users are liking my product or my solution, right? How you can do that? You will do that by getting all the reports. How many users are actually registering to your services, how many users are actually using, all the daily users, weekly users, monthly users, right? Those kind of reports. That will be called data driven decision making. Okay, now let's say your product is live now, everything is going good. You want to add some feature, or you want to launch a new product around it, right? What you will do, you will do some canary deployment. That means only 20 or 30% audience will be there, and then you will test and get the report out of it. And then you will see that, okay, whether my solution is working or not. If not, then you will try to rectify it, because you only have thought of that, okay, this might be one enhancement to this feature, right? You can deploy it, you can test it in 20%, 10% audience, and then if it works fine, then you can launch it for the 100% audience. Then let's say you have launched all the services and everything there in the market, but still you would require to analyze your service users just to make sure that, okay, you are going correctly, and how can you enhance it further. You will analyze the shift in demographic data, that, okay, now maybe this age group will use services more, so you will tweak it right? And this will be called data driven decision making, where every decision of yours is backed by the data. Now let's talk about big data. Is it a challenge or opportunity? So you might have heard that data is the new oil, or data never sleeps, right? Understand this, data never sleeps. We generate 2.5 quintillion bytes of data each day. So I have quantified it just for us to understand. It is equivalent to 1 billion movies of around 2 hours each day. Just imagine how big data is going like live around the world, right? So now so much data is there. Now there are two conditions, whether we will define it as a challenge or opportunity. I believe that it is an opportunity, because whatever we have discussed in the previous slides, all the surveys and everything, all the data is already there. People have actually put the data. So it's never been easier for businesses of all sizes to collect, analyze, interpret data into real and actionable insights, right? So with this big data, we have the opportunity to actually analyze the data, create real actionable matrices. Let's talk about some examples of data driven decision making. We talk about data driven decision making. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
KD, I have a question. Can you define what's a metric according to you? How does people understand what is a metric?
Okay. So let's say in data report, anything which you can quantify, you can say that this is the number, or this is the trend, or this is the average of any particular metric. Let's say your daily active users, right? One metric would be daily active user, how many users are coming to your service and using it. Another metric would be weekly metric, that how many users are weekly there. Then you can say that, okay, this particular day of the week service usage is very high, right? So these are all metrics. And in the case study which I have defined, there are so many matrices which we will discuss, and we will see that in real world examples. So it would be answered in the last slide, Shravan, if it is okay with you.
Sure, KD. Good.
Yeah. So examples of data driven decision making. So we talk about lot data driven decision making, that okay, all our solutions or decisions should be backed by data, whether somebody has proved it or not. So for this, there are three examples I have taken, and there are lots and lots of example of big company, how they have changed their metrics drastically using the data. So one would be Google used performance review and survey data about the managers within the organization to improve the training materials. So what they did, whatever survey they have taken from the manager or the leadership position, they have adjusted everything according to that, and they have taken this decision backed by the data. So now they are enhancing their manager awards, or any feedback which is conducted. They will take the data and they will again improve their training materials or improve the experience of the leadership. Second example is, in 2008, Starbucks had to shut down hundreds of store locations, because maybe, I'm not sure, that decision was maybe not backed by the data, but when they decided that they will take more data driven decisions, they chose the store locations, and now we know that, okay, how good they are doing, right? And also along with that, in 2008, now they have 14 million people signed up. They are getting reports every day out of it. And these Starbucks loyalty program, they have all the data of the user, and they adjust their offerings and send consumers the personalized offers, right? So this is all by using the data only. The third example is recommendation system for the previous order by Amazon. So in 2017, so Amazon did sales. They then tied back this sales to their recommendation system, that whatever, however we are using the data, putting it into machine learning models and trying to give them some additional offers or additional recommendations, they have tied back and found that 35% of purchases was from the recommendation system. How good is that, right? And that was backed by the data only. So one example could be, let's say you are purchasing a mouse, right? Computer mouse. Now they will recommend that, okay, buy this mouse pad as well. And people actually buy this thing, right? So that's how they know that, okay, this example, this thing is working or not. Then they'll adjust it accordingly. Maybe from next time they will recommend the keyboards as well, right? And they'll see how the trend goes. So that is all backed by the data. Next thing is benefits of data driven decision making. What benefit would be there if you make? So you will make more confident decisions, right? Because there is a data to back you up. We have discussed it about a lot, right? Now you will become more proactive. What does it mean by proactive is, let's say your business is not going good. First time, what you will do, you will try to see the reports, try to see the user experiences and everything, and then you will think that, okay, this was the issue, how can I improve it? Okay, you will improve it. Let's say you are successful in that. Now when the data will start telling you the stories, right? Okay, these are the users, this is the user behavior, they are following this particular thing, right? Then you will take some decision proactively that, okay, along with this service I should give out this service, right? So your decisions will become more proactive. Then alignment on company wide goals, right? So when everybody will know that, okay, what is going on, all the reports are out there, and you know that, okay, now my leadership is taking all the decisions which is data driven, you can also compare, and it will be the, like, all every person will be aligned in the company wide goal, that, okay, how the company is doing. Now how you can become more data driven? So first thing would be, look for patterns everywhere. What is data analysis, or what is correlation? It is just correlating 2 points. Okay, so if this is doing that, then this is doing that, then we think that, okay, these two things are correlated, and if this will happen a lot, then this will happen a lot. Let's say if they are inversely correlated, then this will happen a lot, then this won't happen a lot, right? So all these kind of correlation is called data analysis. So how you should do that? You should always look for pattern. Okay, if the users are doing this, why they are doing this? If my login attempt is taking time, if my OTP is not going on, then there is a drop in the users, then you should be able to tie back to that OTP wala thing. Okay, then second thing is the same thing, tie every decision back to the data. Whatever Amazon did, right? They put out all the sales and they have collected all the sales data. Now they tied back to the data and they discussed about it. Okay, whether is it the recommendation system, whatever we have given, and then they found that, okay, 35% sales was from the recommendation system. Then visualize the meaning behind the data. You should always learn about all the visualization creation and all the charts and graphs. You should be able to see. We will discuss about it later in the community only. There is this topic in the plan where we would also learn how to look at the data. So raw data doesn't make any sense, right? But if you look at the data in a particular format, then only you will be able to derive some conclusions out of it. Then let's talk about one case study. So case study is, let's say there is a problem in the customer support team. There are 3 agents. They say that they are overburdened. They are overworking. Okay. Now, how can, so leadership has given you this problem and asked whether there is a requirement to hire some more customer support agent. Okay. How can you take this decision, which is data driven? Okay. What you will do, let's say your agents are saying that, okay, we can solve only 1 ticket a day, and we are getting 5 tickets in a day, right? All are high priority, this we have to solve it then and there, that's why we are not getting, right? Now since I have taken this example of 3, let's say there are hundreds of customer support agents and thousands of tickets coming in, right? You can't go to each one of them and check with them, okay, how many you can solve or what is the actual issue, right? Then this data driven decision making comes in, right? So this is just an example. What matrices you could look at, right? You could see that, is there any traffic spike analysis? So first graph is, if there is a temporary rise in the ticket, right? So that means the bottom one, my graph was going good, but is there any spike in the ticket, right? How can you get that? You can get that from the aggregation of the data, that how many tickets we are getting each and every day, and whether there is some day where we are receiving, maybe in the weekends we are receiving a lots and lots of tickets, then first thing you can do, you can check this. And if traffic is increasing continuously, then you can also see that, okay, the behavior of the data is like this. How? By plotting that raw data into some line graph, bar charts, etc. Okay, then second thing is agent efficiency. You can check if agents are handling lower than average tickets, then the solution is upskilling, right? So let's say you will find that, okay, these many tickets are being solved by our agents and this is the average. Let's see how many agents are solving the tickets lower than that average. Then upskilling of the trainer is required. So all the decisions you can make from this data is, if there is a spike, you can do the short-term hiring. You can say that, okay, this is the problem with our system right now, this will go away. So you can do the short-term hiring. Second thing is, if there are so many agents who are lower than average in the efficiency, then you can do this upskilling, training initiatives you can take. Another thing could be tool enhancement. Maybe the tool they are using, that is not very intuitive, they are having a hard time of operating that. Okay, so tool enhancement also you can check. Now if there is a gradual increase in the tickets, right, then you will say that, okay, we do need to hire more customer support agents. Okay, in this way you will take confident decisions, right? Now we have talked about all the correlations and everything. There is one article which I shared recently in the group only, that, okay, correlation doesn't always means causation, right? You should not rely on the data blindly. You should also take all these intuitive decisions as well. So yep, this was a introduction session to what we are learning in this data-driven decision making. Later on, we will be checking about the sources of data, how can you collect it. So as a data PM, we should always have this technical knowledge as well, from where our data engineers, data scientists getting the data, how can we give them the business logic so that they can also create good metrics out of it, right? Okay, thank you. That was all.
Awesome, KD. Amazing, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, any discussion, anything anybody wants to talk about? Let's do that.
I think Shrikar has a question. Shrikar, go ahead, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, I just wanted to understand or get your perspective on like maybe the difference in responsibilities of a product analyst versus a data PM. Are they one and the same, or is there any difference which?
Raghav, so we already have a data PM amongst us who has like tons of.
I would want to.
Raghav, bhai, मैं आपको ही पूछने वाला था. Please go ahead.
I'm audible. Yeah. So I already actually hinted towards this in the beginning of discussion. So by virtue of product management, every PM has to be data driven. Gone are the days when you take decision intuitively. It has to be your gut decision coupled with the data decision. A data PM is one. I think that's clear, right? Every PM has to be data driven, as per me. Now, a data PM is one who owns data as a product, right? And that data is being shipped to the the downstream stakeholders, be it data scientists, be it strategists, or be it other people who are using that data to fuel the growth of organization or to take very high level decisions, right? Now your question would be, what do I do as a data PM? I am doing that for 6 years. So I have worked in the heavy data driven organizations like American Express and Invesco. Even every single strategy we create for our end user is data driven. Now how do we do it? So the thing is that we get data from different sources. We have external sources, we have internal sources, and now all that data has to be put forward in a single data layer. So as data PM, we also need to know what the fact and what dimension is, what is the best way to put forward that layer data in a single layer, so that it can be very effectively, without our actual users wasting much time on knowing how data looks, they can efficiently consume that. Now, the challenge here is, as always, there are a lot of data elements which are requested by our stakeholders, right? But limited, what I would say, bandwidth both on the development side and the resources side, and what I would say the number of data variables which we can host on the layer. So we as a data PMs have to continuously work on the optimization piece. How can we create minimum layers which deliver maximum output, right? We continuously have to think on that. And slowly when we are in organization, we build the expertise. For example, right now I have been able to build expertise both on credit risk data and also on the investments data by my experience working into organizations. So I know which vendor delivers what kind of data pack and at what price. I also work with them to negotiate on the deals, then onboarding them to our system, then hosting it on our system and simplifying it for the use of stakeholder. I hope I could do justice to the answer. I hope happy to answer all the questions.
Insane, Raghav. Insane. Guys, super amazing. We have
Thank you,
such an
Raghav.
amazing Saber PM over here. We have Kuldeep, and I think they are just super kind people who are helping you across. So in the next session, I want double the participation at least, right? नहीं तो मैं करना ही बंद करवा दूंगा. मैं पहले ही बता रहा हूँ. Eternal chairman. But anyways,
Okay.
ठीक है?
Thank you, guys.
So just,
Thank
yeah,
you.
take care. See you in the chat. Chalo,
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye.